Steiner, United States Marine Corps, 1996 to 2000. Stationed at Camp Pendleton, California. I got out in 2000, started my own business, and have successfully run a business for 23 years. When leaving the military, I didn't really have a support group. I kind of just, my family was my support group. And then it wasn't until 2019 that I got into nonprofit worlds that I started having that family outside of my family. The biggest thing for me is to keep grinding, never stop. Always have a purpose, always have a path on where you're headed. That was probably one of the greatest things that I've learned from the military. So with Herostock, we're threefold. The first piece is we bring veteran first responder and the Gold Star families together for a family outside of their family. The second piece to it is we bring in veteran nonprofits, first responder nonprofits, to show off what they are doing to our veterans and first responders and let them know that they have a home outside of their own home. The third piece is we bring in veteran bands and singers to put them on stage and help grow their brand as they've given years of life to their service to their country. Now it's time to get back.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Lamog. I'm a volunteer instructor with the Cyber Chapter for Guitars for Vets and with Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts Community. Welcome to Song Sung True, a Veteran's View, where tonight I'll be talking about music, surprise, surprise, with U.S. Marine Corps veteran G4V Cyber Chapter Cav Arts graduate Jason Steiner, who is also the founder and president of Herostock, which we're going to hear more about in this conversation. Jason also learned to play guitar through Guitars for Vets, the 11-lesson program, all through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year's holiday last year, and receiving his final lesson by me after attending the NAMM show in Anaheim, California in January. Today, Jason uses the guitar in ways he never thought would be possible, including helping his daughter Brianna, who is on a path to becoming a singer-musician herself. As an added bonus, we'll be talking to Joe Allen Christi, a 24-year Air Force veteran and singer-songwriter performer from Colorado Springs, who will be sharing some of his original songs and stories later this hour. But first, I need to bring in the man of the hour, Jason Steiner. Mister, how's it going?
Tom, how are you? Paul, how are you?
I love you rocking that graduation shirt. That was a great picture.
I know.
I had to do it.
Yeah, he was really proud. We did meet up in Anaheim for his final lessons. Kind of, well, if you're coming to California and I'm not that far from you here in Los Angeles, why don't we just do that final lesson? It's the first time I had done the in-person lesson, and that was quite an experience, Paul. As you know, I was brought on a couple years back, and everything that I had done was virtually. But to sit down with Jason and actually see really the actions, the mechanics behind moving those fingers and learning to play guitar, it was really quite memorable. I thought, wow, this is what the online lessons are like. But yeah, and Jason, he didn't kick me out. I didn't do anything terribly complicated for him, and we managed to get through the lesson. But that seems like it seems like last year, doesn't it? Although it was January, right?
It seems like it was forever ago.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of things have transpired since then. So, it's we talk all the time, but yet it still feels like it's been well over a year ago that I went through the program. So
yeah, and for our guitar playing community this evening, it would be really wonderful to get your insights of, the motivations behind music, how guitar has kind of fulfilled some visions that you had about, yourself, your family, and of course what you're doing with musicians, the veterans, the veteran musicians that you are having attend your music festival. It all kind of ties back to the guitar itself, so it's really kind of wonderful. And Paul, of course, is with us this evening, as always, fielding the questions. So if you have questions, put it in the chat, and what we'll do is, as we go through the conversation itself, Paul will just go ahead and read them off, and we'll see if we can get Jason and then maybe later Joe to answer them. So Paul, we'll see you later. Let me go ahead and let's just kind of get right into it. Let me first of all give you the proper introduction, the bio. This is something that one of your Herostock sponsors, Barry Law, had put together. I thought this is quite succinct, and I think it's worth reading. So let me go ahead and share this with our audience. Jason joined the Marine Corps in 1996 and quickly stood out for his hard work and strong spirit. After serving, he faced the tough switch to civilian life, but kept his drive to help others. This push led him to start Herostock, which was born from Steiner's military background and his desire to make a difference after service. It's a place where veterans can come together, share their music, and feel part of a community again. Steiner's own story shows that with resilience and determination, it's possible to create something meaningful that supports those who've served. Every veteran carries a story filled with resilience, courage, and strong sense of brotherhood. Herostock, started by Marine Corps veteran Jason Steiner, turns these experiences into music, offering a place where military life and melodies meet. This isn't just any event, it's a movement that brings veterans together through music, offering hope and a feeling of togetherness. It's a chance for veterans to share their voices, find support, and move from feeling alone to being part of a community, all through the power of song. So, music,
Wow.
yeah. Did you
That was
you
pretty
knew
cool. I've never
knew
read that before.
You never read that, but I
Uh-uh.
can't imagine why. You have been such a busy. You're right. Since I think you graduated from our program in January to where we are now, the end of May. It's only been about 6 months, but in that time, the research that I did, as I usually do on my guests, there were dozens of podcasts. You're actually out there doing a lot of promoting, not only for Herostock, but also behind the scenes, trying to find musicians to come and perform. Maybe you can kind of summarize in a phrase what the last 6 months have been like for you.
Insane crazy. That's probably the best to explain it. It's no, it's been a lot of fun. I've met some amazing people along the way, made some amazing contacts. You got to hold a Robert Rask guitar that was worth $18,900 when we were at NAM, so that was kind of cool to
I didn't
let
even
you
know
have that
that.
experience.
That's so funny. It's what's funny is like when I saw you at the NAM show. Now this is what guitars has done to Jason. All right, never expected to see him at the NAM show, which is the music, the gathering of music vendors and merchants and all. And I meet up with him, and first thing is, we got to go check out these guitars. This guy is like, getting ready to graduate. We got to go check out these guitars, and he takes me over to a just this room with expensive looking guitars. Here, hold this. And what am I holding? It's and only to find out later that it wasn't some knockoff guitar of a Taylor or a Martin or anything. It was a genuine Rask guitar, handmade. And yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't look at the number of zeros. I think there were 4 zeros behind it, though.
There were a lot.
Something like that. But it was really, really, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, so this is how you're starting your guitar journey, is picking up expensive guitars. This is a good start for you, Jason. It's a good.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, now that after graduation, the world of guitars has opened up for you, and going to the NAM show and picking up a Rask guitar was probably something that you never thought of. Are there what are other things has guitar afforded you? What perspectives has it given you?
It's music has always been big to me all the way through my life. I've always resonated back to music. It goes with me in the shower in the morning. It's on the job site all day long. I've always got music playing, And with being part of the Cav Arts world and learning basic guitar, very basic because I didn't have the time to spend that I needed to work on it. But I've learned very basic guitar, but it's very calming to me to sit down with the guitar. It's frustrating, it's still frustrating to me to hit the chords, but it's also very calming to me to sit down with the guitar and just kind of mess with it. And I'm not a rock star. I'm never going to be a rock star, but I enjoy it, and enjoy the feel of the guitar in my hands and the strings on my fingers, and it's really been cool. And my drive for wanting to play guitar started last year, and we were sitting around the Airbnb before Herostock last year, the night before, and we had the pre-party, and we had Joe Allen Christi, we had Taylor Olam, that's Guitars for Vets, we had Scotty Hasting and Barbara Sim, and they pulled out their guitars and they started playing it, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever to be included into this little group where these amazing musicians are playing their guitars and singing songs and just having a real good time with it. So I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. So
yeah,
I contacted Tom.
Oh, was it me who you contacted?
Yeah.
And I immediately said, www. No, actually, that was really a cool story that you shared with me. I believe I had gone back to Paul and said, Paul, would you go ahead and assign Jason to me? I'll go ahead and carry him through the program. And man, you made it through the 11 lessons. And let's go back a little, just to talk about those lessons themselves. Now, most people who join the program itself and start to receive the one-on-one instruction have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Do you recall what that was like when you first heard that you got assigned an instructor?
Yep. Well, and like for me, I have a hard time learning unless I've got hands on. And so for me going into the cyber chapter, I was real skeptical about it because I was like, I'm trying to learn through somebody on a computer on how to play guitar. And mentally, I kind of went into it as I don't know that this is going to work. And after about the second lesson, I'm like, wait, I'm actually playing a chord. And then the third lesson, I'm putting 2 or 3 chords together, and I got some pretty fat fingers, and me and you worked through that and figured out different ways to play the chords. So I was actually able to play.
You did great.
But yeah, hearing that I was assigned an instructor, I'm like, oh crap, here we go. No backing out now.
Yeah. Had you taken music lessons before, like maybe in your youth?
I'd played drums junior high. That was about all I ever did musically.
Yeah.
So to be able to put an instrument back in my hands and play it, it was really cool. I really enjoy that part of it too.
Now,
Have that.
had you, I see a few instruments behind you. I'm just curious, did you have more than one before you started the lessons? In other words, the guitar grab your attention before the lessons, or was this something a bit deep?
I think I only had one when I started the lessons, and now there's 4 sitting here.
And you'll have to share your story about, because there's an interesting story behind one of them. I know it might be the electric one, but I'm not certain. It's been a while since we've chatted, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It has.
So let's go back even farther than that. Before your lessons, do you recall what's the earliest memory you have of being exposed to music and thinking, I like this? Do you recall that moment?
It really, for me, it didn't really hit. Like, I've always loved music, but it didn't really hit until I was old enough to go to concerts. And standing at a Chris Ledoux concert, and he strummed up Copenhagen, and the cans started flying, and he's on stage jumping around, and I was like, this is super cool. I go to a lot of concerts. I love concerts, but that one will forever live in my mind because it was small town in Northwest Kansas, and everybody chewed down there, and he started playing Copenhagen, and the cans were flying, and there was probably 100 cans up on that stage by the time he was done singing that song. So
Did you want to be Did you want to be on stage with them when
Sure. I mean, who doesn't want to be on stage, and be that rock star up there? But
I gotta remember to ask you the same question when we talk about Herostock and when you've got Shannon Book up there. It's kind of like, Scotty, do you want to? Of course, the obvious answer is yes. Heck yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's definitely one of my dreams for sure.
Sure.
Man, oh man. So when you went to that concert, did you gravitate towards a particular instrument? I mean, obviously they got the full band out there, but is that what got you playing drums maybe back then, or was it?
Guitars always intrigued me, and you watch the guys with like electric guitars,
Mhm.
and you watch them just pick and play and grind on it, and you're like, that's super cool that they can put all this together and make a song. So guitar's always been one of those that I've looked at as I'd love to learn to play it. And through my life, I never took the time to sit down and learn it. And so now at 46 years old, or 47 years old, I started the lessons with you. And now, like I said, I'm not ever going to be the rock star, but I do enjoy sitting around and just kind of strumming on it here and there. So.
Absolutely. I remember, checking in with you occasionally just to make sure that you are playing them because did you mention the motivation behind, really there was one song that you wanted to learn to play and we worked through it together, but you're coming up on Herostock dates and I believe that artist is going to be appearing at a couple of them. So have you had a chance to, I know you've been like 24/7 just focused on getting everything together for Herostock, but what's the story behind that one? Can you want to share the song that you wanted to learn and
the stories that they tell.
Let's make it known because maybe
he's
watching.
Watching Scotty play the stories that they tell and the story that's behind that song and the meaning behind that song. That was the one thing that I asked coming out of the Cav Arts program of, hey, can you give me the lyrics and the chords for that song? And and I wanted to have it prepared for this year, and with everything else that's been going on with Herostock, I haven't had time to sit down and play it and really work through it.
We got time. We got time.
I might just get up on stage with Scotty and I'll sing it because my voice is great.
Yes. The shower, the shower tells no secret. So,
right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take our first break right now. What I want to do, you've got a number of musicians lined up for the Herostock events, 3 of them, and Scotty, of course, is one of them. But I wanted to just give everyone a sample of the music that can be heard. In fact, these are 3 combat veteran singer-songwriters who appeared previously on Song Sung True, Veterans View. So take a listen and imagine yourself in Jason's shoes about, being there, and we'll see you on the other side here. that's going to be a heck of a good time at these events. The music has a lot to do with Herostock, obviously, and when it comes to selecting the musicians to attend, maybe you can kind of talk a little bit about how you go about that process. Are these primarily guitar players or songwriters? What's your thought on that?
They're amazing people. I this year we didn't have a whole lot. We didn't have the expanse that we have now to choose from. I knew quite a few of these veterans kind of going into this year that we have booked. Now I'm holding a roster of about 70 veteran and first responder singers that have reached out to me, or I've reached out to them, that they're like, hey man, we want to play Herostock, or I'm on the other end going, hey, I've heard you play and I really want to have you on our roster for a possible at Herostock. But it's tough. Like, it's tough figuring out who you want to have play, because there's just so much talent in the veteran and first responder world when it comes to music. I mean, you got guys like Shannon Book and Derek Stoner and Malachias and Sal Gonzalez and Mike Corrado, and guys that people don't even know, and they're just amazing musicians, great voices, and and then of course you got guys like Joe Allen Christi that has become one of my favorites. So
we should talk about Joe right now. He's where is that guy? Hang on a second here. I'm going to add him. So I know Joe. Hey Joe, thanks for joining us. I'd like you all to meet. In fact, Jason, you can probably give a better introduction to Joe than I can. I know that Joe was in the Air Force 24 years. He's based in Colorado Springs. He's originally from Texas, and I have it here in my notes somewhere. But here's the story. Here's what's funny. And Joe, you chime in on this as well too. Where has music taken you, Jason? Music has led you to a number of musicians, including Joe. So maybe you can speak to where music has taken you.
For me, it's getting to make these connections with these amazing people that gave so much of their life to our country. And it's been awesome for me on the backside of that to give them our platform to be able to get on stage and tell their stories through their songs and create that healing feeling at our events through their words, and getting to see them grow. When Joe came in last year, he wasn't going to come in. He wasn't going to come to Herostock. He had elk season going on. He's like, man, just don't know. And I hounded him on TikTok. And finally he was like, you know what? I'm coming in. Me and the wife are coming in.
Let me just stop you there real quick. At this point in time, Joe, how long have you been playing, and how often do you get the opportunity to be a rock star, to get on stage? Can you help the crowd of veteran guitar players understand, where you were at in terms of experience?
Yeah, so when Jason reached out to me, I was playing local shows around town, just solo acoustic shows. I'd been trying to songwrite and all that, and I had an experience playing, like I said, solo acoustic. It was right before I started being the lead singer of a band, before we had our first gig, maybe a month before we had our first gig. Mm-hmm. I played that Herostock. I did a solo thing, and I started guitar late. I picked up a guitar at 38 years old. I think I'm 48. Yeah, I'm 48 now. So, I had just 2 years before that. I was just playing on TikTok or playing on Facebook, or and then it just made that decision where you set goals, and now it's time to play in front of people. So
and you found your way. So but I remember Jason sharing the story about your experience, Joe. And we all start somewhere. That's the thing. And for you to have had that experience to get in front of people and perform, it's doable to this community. If this is something that you're looking to do, you've got two gentlemen who've got stories to share about that for sure. Jason, please continue your story. And hey, Joe, we'll talk to you in a bit. All right, keep that guitar warm, or we're gonna come back to you. Right.
So yeah, Joe wasn't going to come in, and he was like, I got elk season going on. I'm not going to come in. And So I finally twisted his arm enough through TikTok, and he's like, all right, we're coming in. So they came in, and Scotty actually gave up part of his time on stage, and so that we could put Joe and Barbara both on stage, because Barbara came down from Alaska. And Joe got up and did 3 songs, and he got off the stage and he was like, that's the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. You know, we had 1,000 people out there, and it was, for me, that was awesome, because our group gave him that opportunity to play in front of 1,000 people. You know, a lot of these guys and gals that are musicians that are veteran and first responder, they play to a bar crowd, you know, and it might be 50 people in a bar, and they don't have the exposure to the bigger crowds and that kind of stuff, which that's a whole different animal, you know. And I know just speaking in front of that crowd is a whole different animal. So I can't imagine getting up singing and playing guitar. But it's the platform that we can give them to try to help grow their brand, and not just their brand, but their experience, their confidence, you know, everything that goes into what they're doing and being a performer. It starts on a stage somewhere. And when we can put our veterans on that stage and give them 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, whatever it is, people to play in front of, and it's their brothers and sisters, to me, that's amazing, you know, to be able to do that. So that's my story with Joe, and we've stayed in contact, you know, since Herostock. We actually talk fairly often. I check out his TikToks all the time, and he'll jump on and play live, and I'll sit there and request all the songs that he plays and all of his originals. And so if you get a chance, check him out on TikTok too. So
Definitely. Hey, Joe, let me bring it back. Hey, Joe, are you interested in sharing one of your original songs? And yeah, this is it's wonderful to have you. But we should probably ask the question, or maybe even answer the question. Jason, why aren't you playing something? No pressure though. I don't want to put you. There are 3 guitars behind you. Why are you not playing? But okay, I won't ask that question. I'll just say, Joe Allen Christi, Colorado Springs singer-songwriter. Why don't we go ahead and give you the stage, my friend? And let me go ahead. What are you going to play for us, first of all?
Well, so I was gonna play a song called "Keep the Flag," since it is Memorial Day weekend just passed, and this is a song that's dedicated to Ghost Star families that I wrote with a friend of mine named Philip Jeffries.
All right, my friend.
And it's amazing.
Joe Allen Christi, everyone.
There we go. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
He woke up one morning to the sound of a telephone ring. His dad was lacing his boots, bags packed up to go away. He was 7 years old when his daddy left to fight in a war. And he's too young to understand what for. He said, "Be brave, my son, I'll be home soon." The boy held on to hope till he got that awful news. And as they folded up the stars and stripes, 21 guns pointed towards the sky. As the shots rang out, he flinched a little each time. Then a soldier in his best dress walked up to him, you know the rest. But through his pain, the soldier's words fell flat. He said, "You keep the flag." I want my daddy back. There ain't no book on how life can go on without his daddy. Their house ain't a home. And there's certain things a mama just don't get, like baiting a hook, oil, and a catch fisher's mitt. She watches him play catch with a wall. He's talking to his daddy like he never left at all. And as they folded up the stars and stripes, 21 guns pointed towards the sky. As the shots rang out, she flinched a little each time. Then a soldier in his best dress walked up to her, you know the rest. But through her pain, the soldier's words fell flat. She said, you keep the flag. I want his daddy back. As time passed together, they moved on. And through the years, his memory stayed strong. The flag they never wanted now sits proudly on the mantle to give honor to the man that gave his all. And as they folded up the stars and stripes, 21 guns pointed towards the sky. As the shots rang out, they flinched a little each time. Then a soldier in his best dress walked up to him, and you know the rest. But through his pain, the soldier's words fell flat. He said, you keep the flag. He said, you keep the flag. I want my daddy back. The flag they never wanted now sits proudly on the mantle to give honor to the man that gave his all.
Awesome.
That was Keep the Flag, Joe Allen Christi, everyone. And he is going to be appearing with his band, Winchester Road, on the 14th of September at the Ashland Herostock. And wow, Joe, you can have it all, huh? You can be a solo singer, songwriter, and also step into a band situation. What was that like? I mean, it's completely different. You know, the feel and the play, the parts that you play, the things that you do, they're totally different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot different. It's a great experience. It's kind of a high that you get. Like I know how a lot of people describe playing a show and afterwards you're kind of amped up. You know, it's kind of hard to get some sleep. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's a great feeling. There's a lot more challenges when you're doing it with a band than by yourself. You know, you gotta learn to, you know, run your in-ear monitors and how to hear yourself better. You know, playing with a band. There's so much to it. I'm still struggling with that, but yeah, it's a great feeling, especially you got five guys playing music together in sync, and when you see people dance and like it, man, it's such a great feeling.
Kind of new, huh, for
Yeah.
you? Is it? Yeah. Yo, geez. The bio, your the Winchester Road bio, the embodiment of country music's timeless spirit, blending classic '90s contemporary country with red dirt and southern rock influences. The question that came in just now: can you play Freebird? No, just kidding. That didn't come in. Just kidding. Just kidding, Joe. Hey, listen, it's great to have you. It's great to have you. You're going to come back and do another song for us, right? A little bit later. Okay, cool. Thank you, Joe Allen Christi. All right. So, Jason, I'd like to step back a little bit to your youth and then into your military career, because I think, you know, what's really interesting in some of the podcasts that I have listened to is that Herostock just didn't happen. there were there were visions that you had, experiences that you had gone through over the previous 20, 25 years leading up to the desire to do Vetstock, which then became Herostock. But let me first start by taking us way back to the youth of, how people how would they have described you? And yeah, is we're going to try and make the connection to this man who does it all, who is wanting to put the best part of himself forward in giving to veterans and first responders, Gold Star members, to way back when maybe, it was something that you wanted, it felt right. But how would people describe you back in your youth?
I was a wild child.
How so?
Yeah, I got in trouble. Like I was a troublemaker when I was younger. I think the statute of limitations is up now, but we borrowed a school bus for about 3 hours and went booze cruising in it. And we'd break into the liquor store through the air conditioner hole and then put the air conditioner back in and leave cash on the till and walk out. So we always paid for it. We never stole it, but we always, tactically acquired whatever we needed to. And I always kind of seemed to be the ringleader of that. So, but yeah, I was a wild child growing up. I was the youngest of four. By the time my parents got to me, it was, just make it home alive. You don't really have a curfew, just, make it home. So I grew up in a small town in northwest Kansas. There was really nothing to do there but drink. So we did a lot of drinking growing up. And luckily, I never got in that much trouble. I always seemed to be able to avoid most of it. So, but yeah, I was definitely the wild child. I climbed the water tower. I did all the small town stuff. So,
Oh, geez. Were you prompted to maybe enlist? Is that something maybe your parents had steered you towards, or is this a decision that you made on your own?
it was the story for me enlisting is really kind of comical. It had never been on my radar. Like I always appreciated the military. My dad was a officer in the National Guard. Growing up, when I was actually before I was born, he was an officer in the National Guard. My uncle did 21 years in the Air Force. My grandpa was one of the guys that landed late onto Omaha Beach, in World War II. So I had a lot of military in my family, but it was never really on my radar. And it wasn't until I got a postcard in the mail from a Marine Corps recruiter, and it said, "Give me 15 minutes of your time. I'll give you a set of dog tags." And I'm like, "Dude, dog tags are cool. I'll do this." So I sent it in, and Staff Sergeant Colburn come down, and he sat down with me and talked and talked and talked till he was about blue in the face. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds cool. Where are my dog tags at?" And he did me really dirty. He went down to his car and he got his dress blues top and brought it up and said, "Here, go slip this on and look in the mirror." And I put them on and I was like, "Where do I sign?" Like, I'm ready to go now. That's all it took was a dress blues. He told me about the guns and everything else I could do. It was literally the dress blues that made me sign up for the Marine Corps.
Did I see a photo of you floating around all dressed up? Maybe it was with one of your interviews, one of your more recent interviews, or maybe that was someone else, because very clean shaven. I couldn't tell if it was you or someone else.
It would have been a long time ago if I was clean shaven.
Oh my goodness!
But no, I joining the Marine Corps was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. It really slowed me down. Made me respect people a little bit more than what I used to, and it was a great experience. I served all peacetime, so I'm one of the lucky ones that didn't have to go over and play in the sandbox and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's kind of what my military history was like growing up and why I joined.
Any achievements that you're proud of while you were in the Marine Corps?
I never got any true achievements, I would say. I was an E4 running an E6 billet. I was a corporal running a staff sergeant billet. I was a marksmanship instructor for our battalion. I trained 1,100 Marines and Navy corpsmen a year on the rifle and pistol. Saved a guy's life, never got anything out of it, but I saved his life and didn't need a medal for it. So
his appreciation, I'm certain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything that that you wanted to accomplish that you didn't have a chance to do?
Not really. I mean, I pretty much did what I wanted to do in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 2 years as a amphibious assault vehicle driver, so I got to play with a 36-ton floating pop can and shoot some really cool guns and play with some really cool stuff. And I did my 4 years, and I got out, and then we moved back to Nebraska. And that's kind of where the story starts for the rest of my life. So,
any interactions with music along the way? I mean, was music even? Were you able to at least have some music in your life at that time, or is this something that didn't come until later because you didn't even have time to think about stuff like that?
we always had music going in the barracks. You always had somebody running around with a guitar, and it was just music is really embedded into our military communities. Somebody's always got an instrument playing something somewhere. But even in the barracks, when you're doing the field days, people have music going, and so I always had music around me.
Great. Well, speaking of music, Herostock. Why don't we, we've been kind of putting this off for the last 45 minutes. Maybe let's start with the elevator speech for Herostock. First of all, before that you tell us, why people might want to attend Herostock. Can you just say what really? I mean, I think of music festivals. I think of paying or honoring the veterans, first responders, Gold Star families, but it's so much more than that. Maybe you can go ahead and let everyone know what Herostock is so they can check it out for themselves.
Sure. And we're actually kind of reworking this right now. My elevator speech turned into kind of long-winded, so they're like, you need to shorten it up a little bit. So
you're a storyteller.
I am a storyteller. Herostock is a music festival that brings veteran first responders and Gold Star families together to honor them. We bring in nonprofits to highlight what's available for our heroes in our communities. And we bring in veteran and first responder singers to put them on stage and tell their story through their songs. That's essentially what it is in a nutshell. Herostock started out as Vet Stock. It was a one-night, one-off, never going to happen again night for veterans to hang out. That's all it ever was going to be. And before we got through the first event, we had people going, you have to do this again next year. And within 3 to 5 days, I probably had 30, 40 text, emails, calls. What's the date for next year? When is this going to happen again? We want to have this happen again. Where are you doing this? When it started in a metal shop, it was a retired Navy, I believe a Navy pilot. He was like, here's my shop. We can use this. And it literally started in a metal shop, and we had 100 people show up. I had 45 days from the day of the idea to the day of the event. It has now grown. Last year we put 6 bands on stage or 6 singers.
Uh-oh. We may have lost him. Hey, Joe, I'm going to bring you back up here. We'll get back to our friend Jason in just a minute here. But hey, you're going to be playing over at Ashland. Is it just Ashland? You're going to be playing Herostock Ashland?
Yes. I'll be playing in Ashland and with my band on, I think, Country Night, like you said, on the 14th. So, we're really looking forward to it. I'm really I'm more looking forward to just being with everybody again and hanging out. The camaraderie is amazing there.
I have to ask because this was something that kind of made its rounds through the musicians who attended, and that's the infamous pre-Herostock jam.
Yeah.
And I know that Jason was he was basically taking lessons because it's like I really want to do this. You were a part of that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. We stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning playing songs before the night before Herostock, and to meet Scotty Hastings and Barbara Sims, who are just amazing. I was nervous the whole time.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about your guitar experience? You had been playing for about 10 years? Is that Did you feel like you kept up with them, or did you put forth enough where it's kind of like now you can keep up with me kind of a thing, or how was
Yeah,
that?
I think we're I think we're all kind of similar in like guitar skills.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm more of a cowboy chord kind of guy. I do some little licks in between depending on the song, but I'm still taking guitar lessons. I still take vocal lessons. So
Oh,
I just feel like if this is something I want to do, I need to make sure that I'm honing my craft,
tell me
nonstop.
about your where you're at with guitar, and why you're thinking that you have things to learn still. What are you comfortable with? And maybe you can tell us what it is that is like, I'm still learning to do this, just to give a sense
Yeah,
to our guitar veteran community.
yeah.
Because they may be like, okay, I've got this to learn, and then I've got that to learn. How's that for you?
Yeah, so chords, I got the chords down. I know how to kind of find the chords in other spaces, but doing like solo stuff or kind of like bluegrass type stuff, like where it's like stuff like
Tasty.
that. Getting
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
playing a little more dynamic instead of just strumming a chord. And
Sure. Yeah.
that's where I'm trying to be more dynamic, where like in between a phrase where I'm singing, I can do a little like, you know, just stuff like that. And that's where I really I'm looking to get, and just so I can just bring more to the table when I'm
Now, are you finding it's easier to learn this stuff on your own, or do you typically go to other musicians to say, can you show me how to do that? Which do you prefer?
Yeah, so I'm taking lessons once a week now. So basically, a lot of the stuff that I'm learning is, say, for instance, if we're doing a song, um, yeah, like Folsom Prison Blues, learning the intros,
Hmm.
or like Seminole Wind, just
Yeah.
stuff to add to instead of just start,
Prettied up. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
pretty up before I start singing, just so, you know, uh, and I can tell the difference how people respond, when you're doing something a little bit different with the guitar, not just strumming the whole time.
Real good. Oh, absolutely. Now, you've got another song for us.
Yeah.
We'd love to go ahead and hear what it is that you have, and we'll bring Jason. It looks like Jason's back, but why don't you go ahead and take this next few minutes and what's the song called?
So this one I'm gonna sing. It's called "Bonfires in Strawberry Hill." It's a song I just recorded in February in Nashville, and
Oh,
I'll probably be
nice.
releasing it sometime middle summer, something like that. So,
All right.
Hurry up. I love this song.
yeah, and it's
Get it
just
Jason's
about
released.
back.
growing up.
Joe Allen Christi, everyone.
Here we go. We were young and we were wild, sipping Boone's Farm, smoking Black and Miles, rocking Dad's pickup truck on a Friday night. 3 doors down the street from her house, she snuck out quiet as a mouse. Put her in drive with a stick shift between her legs. Headed to Padre with pallets to burn, a bunch of kids with a lot left to learn. Not a care in the world, future bright but unclear. It was bonfires in Strawberry Hill, singing campfire songs, man, I get chills. It was holding on to your girlfriend tight in puppy love, so wrong, but it felt so right. The dunes caught fire and we had to go when the flames raged out of control, in a convoy of trucks headed back to town. We got stopped by the cops that night. He said, pour out your beer, son, or it's jail for the night. Switch seats, now she's driving herself home. Now the stick shifts between my legs, I'm stealing kisses up and down her neck. wishing we were back in front of that fire. It was bonfires and Strawberry Hills singing campfire songs, man, I get chills. It was holding on to your girlfriend tight in puppy love, so wrong, but it felt so right. Don't take the girl on the radio singing into her eyes, we both wanted more. It wasn't meant to be, her mom was waiting outside. The next day I waited for her call when the phone rang. We talked about it all, reminiscing about last night and the fun we had when it was bonfires and Strawberry Hill dancing around the flames. Man, I get chills. It was holding on to your girlfriend tight in puppy love, so wrong, but it felt so right. It felt so right. It felt so right.
All right. Joe Allen Christi,
Love
everyone.
that song.
Thanks, brother.
I request it on every TikTok.
Of course, of course. All right, we got Jason back here. Let me find him. Where are you? There he is. We gotta
Had to switch to my
back
phone.
in. Add you back in. Sorry, we decided to kick you off the program because we wanted to hear Joe.
I'm good with that.
I knew you would be, but now it's your turn to play Led Zeppelin. Stairway to Heaven. Reach for that guitar behind you. You can use the electric. And by the way, yeah. We've got questions coming up here in just a moment.
Let's see Epiphone.
There's your Is that your graduation guitar? That is.
It is.
So
It
if
is.
you're,
It is.
if you're going through the program, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. I need to bring Paul back up here because he's getting ready to. He's queued up the questions for us. Oh, the Epiphone is Epiphone the guitar still part of the graduation package, or is it
So
different
right now we're giving out the Yamaha FG800s.
Ooh, those are nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're both nice guitars.
So
Yeah.
I do gotta say, Joe, I don't know if I enjoyed that song as much as I loved watching Jason just totally absorb it.
you should have heard Jason's stories. It's kind of, you got to have him play that. It's like, okay, oh, all right. Yeah. And Joe's, he's going to be at the Ashland Herostock September 14th, right? For country day, country night. Here we go. So thank you all for getting your questions here. Paul, do you want to go ahead and read off some of them? I'm
going to start with one of my own, if that's all right.
Oh, of course. Go for it.
Jason, did you say that you drove an amphibious assault vehicle?
Yes, sir, I did.
So do you think stealing the yellow bus for a while was a good training for that?
Definitely was.
You know that thing where if you ever Google someone's name and you could get into their public records and find out, like, well, I kind of found one of your mugshots with you and your accomplice.
Oh, there it is. Oh, is that the 21 guitar salute?
That was a 21 guitar salute.
Jason, have you changed your shirt yet?
Nope, I haven't.
Geez. That was October.
So, by the way, Jason, if you need any logistical help in setting up the next Herostocks, I think Kathy on the group here is wanting you to come to the Buckeye Stadium for the Buckeyes in Columbus, Ohio.
That'd be pretty cool.
And
Ohio.
Joe, is there a story behind your guitar strap?
Actually, yeah, there is kind of a story. So I was saying before, I was streaming mostly on TikTok, and people that came in would listen to me. There was a girl. She's a Marine. She's ex-Marine, and she does leather work. And she said, "Hey, I can do a strap for you." And this is what she made. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
it's backwards because of the camera, but yeah, it's all leather. It's very detailed, and she did an amazing job. It's just another example of veterans doing great things.
So we just purchased 80 leather guitar straps for Tandy Leather to do a workshop for some of our Guitars for Vets members and
nice.
Cav Art. So we're going to be designing, and so that really caught my eye when I saw your guitar strap. I don't think there's a lot of inspiration there drawn from your songs, and I think they'll go nameless, but some people were responding to some of your juvenile delinquency activities, reminding us of our own stuff we were getting into, but that's what I got now, Tom.
Can't wait to go back and read those. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Careful
All
what
right.
you put in the chat.
All right. All right. Well, let's see here. Well, we're coming up at the end of the program, and as we always do, if you are with us live, why don't you stick around for a few minutes, and Jason and Joe, hopefully you can answer some questions. We can do that offline. For Songs Sung True next, we're already at the end of May. Can you believe it? We're already at the end of May. It was
No, I can't.
5 interviews this month of combat veteran singer-songwriters, and so glad to have you guys there. Next month, Song Sung True episode 12, another Colorado Springs-based singer-songwriter, Tim Megan Jr. is going to be back for a second appearance on our podcast. He went to Memphis. Tim went to Memphis to record more tracks for his new EP. It's going to be Wednesday, June 12th, 5:30 Pacific. So hope you can join us, and hopefully he'll share with us some more stories about his time in the service, as well as being a Denver firefighter. So with that said, you need to come back. We made a poster already for you, so you better plan on coming back and giving us the lowdown on all things music and guitar related. Your band Winchester Road as well too, and how things go at Herostock. Where can we find your music?
All platforms. The easiest way is just to go to joeallenchristi.com. All my links are there, and I got about 6 songs on Spotify and all platforms. So, and with more coming.
So in the chat, we've got your, because we heard so much about your TikTok account, we got your TikTok account, your Facebook account, and your website. And Jason, I put in Herostock as well.
Herostock.org.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. Jason, any last words to the Guitars for Vets community, the people who are still learning, who are hoping to graduate or maybe enroll? Any thoughts to share with them before we call it a night?
Do it. Like if you want to play guitar, just do it. Just enroll, get into it, and it's really relaxing. It's really calming to learn to play guitar, and it's a blast. So, and yes, Herostock is recorded. Actually, we're working with CHW Radio this year, or CHW Coming Home Well. It'll be played live on Live 365 audio stream. And then Donald Dunn, through Veterans Voices, he's actually going to do a audio and video live stream of Rolla. So June 29th, Rolla in Missouri, August 8th, Lebanon, Tennessee, and then September 13th, 14th, back in the home state. We're doing 2 nights, rock, country, putting on 19 different veteran singers this year.
And getting tickets, you can go to herostock.org.
Yep. Go to herostock.org and find the links to each one of them. Buy your tickets. Veteran first responders and Gold Star families are free. So,
wow, that sounds awesome. All right. Well, Paul, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm seeing a nonprofit pipeline here where veterans come to us, they learn guitar, they go to a program like Creative Vets, learn how to write their stuff, and then they go to you to perform on stage.
Ooh, I like
Definitely.
that. I'm
Definitely.
totally digging that.
Yeah, let's do this. Like, that's, our big thing with Herostock is we want to work with people. We don't want to, our nonprofit is not the do all say all. We want to bring all the groups together and work with each individual group or collaborate with as many as we can to create the best experience for all of our heroes. So
that's great. I do want to just quickly say on June 13th, which is the second annual Post-Traumatic Growth Day, we're going to be doing a live event in all of CavArt, so it's larger than the Guitars for Vets Learning Center, called Guitars for Growth, where we're going to explore this topic of post-traumatic growth and trauma, and look particularly at how arts and specifically music kind of impact that. So we've got a couple special guests. Joe Wood from Boulder Crest is going to be joining us. They're an amazing nonprofit doing some really deep end stuff on what post-traumatic growth is for veterans. And then we have Malachi Gaskin, who's going to talk about the Warrior's Garden, as well as play that song for us. And we're going to have a music therapist on with us as well. So it ought to be a really cool event for us.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, everyone, we are at the end of our program. Again, if you are live with us, stick around. We'll give you an opportunity to approach Jason and Joe with any questions that you have. And until then, I'm Tom Lamog for Guitars for Vets and for Cav Arts, for Paul Lilly and the G4V Learning Center team. Our guest, Jason Steiner, Joe Allen Christi, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant rest of your evening.
Sunday morning mass feels 100 miles away. Another night on the town, too much to drink. I've got to pray her memory away. It's gonna take some time, 'cause the whiskey isn't working. Gonna take something I haven't tried. The sign of the cross and holy wine. I put money in the plate, but she took my last dime. Your cheating heart keeps playing in my mind. The whiskey isn't working, so it's the sign of the cross and holy wine. I stumbled out the pew at church and into the parking lot, feeling good till I seen the ashtray and the ring I bought. Yes, she was the girl of my dreams. Turns out her dream wasn't me. Got a mile down the road before I turned around, got back on my knees. Sign of the cross and holy wine. I'd put money in the plate, but she took my last dime. Your cheating heart keeps playing in my mind. The whiskey isn't working, so it's the sign of the cross and holy wine. I was living blind, but now I see. Yeah, he had a plan when she smiled back at me. The sign of the cross and holy wine. He sent me an angel in just the nick of time. Amazing grace keeps playing in my mind. Have faith in the man above, the sign of